So Hastings, the journalist who got burnt up in Los Angeles, I'm sorry for him, but I'm glad for me. Now, I trying to figure out this thing, and I've had a similar experience. So let me talk about my experience. Um, One day, I parked my van and trailer in North Oakland, close to the city of Berkeley. My friend went into Berkeley to recycle, and I stayed in Oakland because I don't like going in Oakland. In Berkeley, the police up there, and I'm not playing with the police. They don't want you up there, and so on. And we decided that after meeting up again at the van that it's not prolific, so we can go somewhere else. I think we went there the wrong day. That was in the early stages of me sort of setting up a strategy and dealing with doing the recycling thing. And so we started to smell this LPG gas, and it wasn't too long after the San Bruno gas explosion over in San Francisco. So I say, hey, smell like gas, bro? And it smells as if it's on the curb. So I'm studying, maybe it's under the ground there that some pipe ruptured and it's coming through the sewer and so on. So I wanted to call the police, but I say, you know what? Instead of doing that, let me just ride into Berkeley and see if I'll get some cops to come by. But when I got in the van, I'm smelling it more in the van. I was starting my van then by the switch. I had broken out the switch one day because I lost the key. So I touched two wires together to start the vehicle. So whoever put the gas in the van knows that, or they know, or whoever it is, know that I start the vehicle by touching those two wires. And if it had sparked, my vehicle would have exploded. I would have been burnt up beyond recognition, and it would have been a mystery because the whole van would have burned down, and then it would have seemed as if there was some electrical fire or whatever. Now, I don't know exactly what caused the Hastings thing, but I suspect that some accelerant, like maybe the same gas, was in there. So the person could stick something on his accelerator and put it up to the frame, something that will burn up with the fire. And with some quick move, maybe electronically, it opens up and accelerates rapidly, and then pushing the cigarette lighter. So as the cigarette lighter heats up, and this gas and thing, you could have this fire starting, this big explosion, and then the fire gonna burn up that the thing that you had stuck the accelerator with. So you'll see this thing burn down there, but you don't know where it came from. The part on the pedal might be metal, so that it won't burn and stick, as it were. But then, of course, it will stick on the rubber. But some way like that, they had to accelerate the vehicle and keep it there. He is either had his neck broken or was unconscious with something he might have drunk, or did something to him to make him, non-responsive, because he probably could have do some. Well, of course, when that fire started, you can't do nothing, and the vehicle's moving like that. And I'm sure that they had to have him some restraint somehow. So why I survived, I think, though, is that God protected me, because He has been protecting me all over this country. In Florida, they put drugs in my food. I'm driving the school bus. I fall asleep, and I'm opening my eyes. I'm right at the corner with all these students in the bus. I had to force my eye open when I finished the route. Then I go and I park the vehicle, and then people in suit come and knock on the vehicle and say, "Hi, why you park this vehicle here? Why you don't take this vehicle in?" I say, "Man, I'm feeling bad. My stomach is feeling cutting up on my head. I just can't. I'm not feeling good." Same way I felt when they had me in the LA prison, when the sheriff took me in there. Same seat. And a lot of times I find I was sleeping driving, but I'm saying maybe I'm getting old or whatever. But I mean, I am fit. I mean, although I'm old, I don't have no malady as such. I'm healthy. I'm strong, reasonably to my age. While I was living in Puerto Rico, I had a bout with high blood pressure. And I go to this pharmacy, and they always showing my blood pressure is high. And I went to the hospital. They gave me a medication. It was not necessarily something to affect the blood pressure, except to help me to urinate the salt, they believe that is in my system, because and so on. But one day I went to this pharmacy, and they showing me that my blood pressure was like 100 and 200 something over close to 180. So I rode my bicycle from there to the hospital, which is about a mile away, and I told them what your reading said. They say it can't be possible, because if your blood pressure was that high and you ride over here, which is going to take it up higher, you would have collapsed or something like that. But still, it showed as if it were like 150 or 130 when I reached there. So somebody was doing something to cause my blood pressure to go up. Let me stay on that medication. When I go to them, they keep telling me it's high. And when I went to the hospital, I don't know if anybody has a way of connecting to the hospital to, you know, when they put your name in, that they could get a copy or they know you're there. Because whenever I go to the hospital, I find people that look into me, regular suspicious, would be there. And in this case, when I went there for the heart problem, I see this guy, people in the room, and he walking up and down, and they're trying to stabilize it. They want me to be calm so they could stabilize it with some drug. And I've seen talking to the doctor, I've seen talking to the nurse, and like they like them and tell them, no, we can't do that. So like he was telling them to maybe poison them or whatever. But in the case when I was driving the vehicle, the bus, I think if I had a small crash, the ambulance was called, or they would have called the ambulance, they might have been trailing me. And when the ambulance come, they'll ensure that they inject something in me that I die on the spot. So when they take my body to the hospital, then they're going to say, oh, he died on arrival, you know, this kind of way. So my problem is that I think my mission is godly. I'm not seeking to, you know, get a Pulitzer Prize or to win some money with the stuff that I'm revealing here. I talk with people, I talk about different issues that nobody else is talking about. And I believe it's God's mission. And when you're in his business, then he protects. Okay, I've gone through some things that I don't have time to get into that. Unfortunately, Hastings might be doing his own thing. You know, he is out there beating up the government, beating up the army, beating up the generals and so on. And I don't know if his thing was more urgent than mine, but I'm trying to understand what happened to him. And as I say, the only way that car could have exploded like that is some natural gas, LPG, cooking gas in there, and something that will spark to ignite that fire. Either an easier thing would be to push his lighter in, and when it heats, you know, it gets hot, it's gonna flip out. And with that heat, that could also cause a fire. So I'm just waiting to see what they will say on the whole autopsy, the whole investigation.